Okay, Fletcher, so you did really well in our paper 2 that I looked at earlier this week. So let's see how you get on with the corresponding paper 1 from November 2012. Okay, so full marks on the first question, so that's excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 there. 8,081, 140, so 5 marks there. Now for this question, what they're asking for is the percentage. You've given it as 2 equivalent fractions. So a quarter as a percentage would be, how many times does 4 go into 100? 25, so it's 25%. Okay, so that is what they're looking for there, and those last two are correct as well. So 17 marks on that first page. That's really good. That is correct, and so is that. Cone, octagon, pyramid, diameter, tangent, chord. Fabulous. 10 marks on that page. So that one's correct, and that one you've made correct. Okay, you did make the mistake of putting these diagonals in, which is a really common mistake, but they aren't lines of symmetry, because if they were lines of symmetry, then that arrow shape there would be reflected over here. As you can see, it's not there. So what you've done is quite right. And what this also illustrates is the importance of using a pencil when you are drawing on an exam paper, because obviously you can't rub it out. So when you're drawing things like lines of symmetries, graphs and so on, make sure you use a pencil. Yes, you did mix them up. It is 60, it is centimetres squared, so that's good for the second part. The important thing here as well is this question is telling you to write down the units of your answer. So if you hadn't put that centimetres squared on there, then you would have lost a mark. Now for this one, you've got all the correct measurements. You've put that there and there, but you have added them up incorrectly. When you add them up, they come to 64, not 68. So somewhere one of those you've missed out. So again, just go through and check which one is missed out. That should be 64. The units for perimeter are centimetres, not centimetres squared. It doesn't matter, because they're not asking you to give them, so you're not going to get further penalised for having the wrong units. But perimeter is a measure of distance. It's how far the total distance around that shape is. So that would be centimetres, not centimetres squared. So for that one, you're going to get the mark for working out those missing sides there, and you get the method mark for adding up the lengths of each side, but you lose the final mark available because you've added it up incorrectly somehow. So total for the page, 8. Okay, so once again with this one now, you've missed that keyword there, which is estimate, but then you've subsequently gone back and worked it out correctly. So it's £3 for the bus, 9 for the ticket, 4 for the lunch, £16 for each pupil. And up here is where you were showing me the workings out you would have done. So your communication is pretty good. There are 2 marks for the communication there, and you are pretty much showing what that communication is, what the stages are that you're working with. So I think you would get full marks for what you've done there, so that's really good, and that's excellent as well. so 11 on that page. Okay, so when you come to plotting graphs, it's important that you are clear how many or what each little square on each axis is worth. And it's often worth just writing that down just to show that you are working it out. So on this axis it's easy. You're going from 0 to 10 in 10 jumps, so each little square is 1 unit. So you're doing 10 divided by 10 is 1, so that's going up in ones. On this axis it's going up 0 to 5, so it's going up a total of 5 in 10, so each little square is a half. So we're just putting that on there. It's showing the examiner that you're going to do the right thing. And then, so we can see 13 there, and 4.6 will be half a unit down 4.5, so that one's pretty good. This one is on 35 and it's 12.4, so halfway between 10 and 15 will be 12.5, so marginally down from that is fine. And 60 and 21.2 again, 20 and a half, 21 slightly up, that's going to be good enough where it is. You've then joined it up correctly and it's going through 0, 0, so you're going to get full marks for that. So to estimate 40, you are taking 21.2, which is 60, so you're using that, you're not using the graph. So actually your estimate isn't really accurate enough, because what you've done is you've said, well, 21.2, that's close enough to 20, so if I double that it'll give me 40. It won't give me 40.4, it'll give me 42.4, which is a little bit out. What they're looking for you to do there is to say, well, if I want 40, I can't get 40 off my graph, but I can read 20 off my graph. So they're looking for you to show that you're using your conversion line. Okay, so that is there. I'm reading down to there. So they're looking for you to say from graph 20 km per litre is 57 mpg, and then double that to give 40 km per litre will be 114 mpg. So that's what they're looking for you to do, looking for you to use the graph, not from the table. So what you've done is reasonable as a method, because you are doubling but you're not taking it off your graph, so you're going to lose a mark with that. That's good. So 5 for that page. Now, in order to do this, there are a series of steps that you need to go through involving finding the probability of winning once. So take a look how I work through this question on my video clip, and then for you to practice, what you need to practice is on the my topics pages, print off the work on games of chance, have a look at how I work through this first, and then see if you can answer the questions or on games of chance. 48 is correct and 119 is correct. Again, this question is easier to explain if you go through how I've shown it on my video solution. So work through that. That one's wrong and that one is wrong as well. So you've got those two. watch how I develop the rest of them on my video solution. That's correct, that's correct. It is negative. Your line of best fit is good. 2.5 years on your graph is 3,400. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. 7 for the page. You can take 3 out, leaving 8x plus 1. X minus 6. That's good. That's good. And that's good. Excellent. So 3, 5, 7, 9 marks there. Okay, so 8 people on each table, 6 on the sides, 2 on the ends, correct. But what you are missing out on is the fact that these tables are joined together. And when you join 2 tables together, where they join, nobody can sit. So in fact, what you've got are the 3 people sitting either side there, the 3 people sitting either side there. If you add another table, it would give you another 6, but there's only ever 2 people that are sitting on the end. So that's what you need to think about. Whereas for you were saying these tables aren't joined, so we'll always have 6 people on a table. So that bit of it is not correct with you. So your strategy is right, but you've misunderstood how the tables are connected. And then yours oversimplifies because you're always going to have 2 on each table. So for yours that would be right, but it's actually simpler than it should be. So again, have a look how I explain that on the video clip. With this one, you're quite right that it could be 1 and 3, it could be 2 and 2, it could be 3 and 1. But the 2 and 2 only occur once. So if the first dice is 1 and the second dice is 3, the first dice is 2, second dice is 2, that one doesn't occur twice. So there are going to be 3 different occurrences, but it isn't out of 12, because if you think about it, if we did an outcome table, okay, so if we had the first dice could be a 1, could be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if that's the first dice, second dice could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And within there you would be adding them up. So you'd have 1 and 1 is 2, 1 and 2 is 3, 1 and 3 is 4, 2 and 1 is 4, etc, etc, etc. There are actually 6 times 6, 36 different outcomes. So it isn't 3 out of 12, it's actually 3 out of 36 that you're looking for there. So you're considering the possible outcomes, you get 1. You lose a mark because you've got 4 different outcomes, where in fact there are 3, and then it isn't out of 12, it should be out of 36. And then for this final question, that is right, that is right, that is right. So you've used the median is 6, you've used the mode is you've used the median is 6 and the range is 8, and that they're single digits, so you've got all that correct. What you haven't done is picked up this bit, which is that the mode is 3. Now the mode means that the number that comes up most often is 3. That means that there must be 2 3s. So now we've used the median, we've used the range, we've used the mode. So the 7 remaining numbers must be 7 and 8, because that's all that's going to fit in there. It can't be 7 and 7, because then we wouldn't have a mode. It can't be 8 and 8. So it's going to have to be 7 and 8. That's all that's left there. So you're going to get 2 out of the 4 marks, because you've got the 1, the 6 and the 9 in the right place. So 3 there. So again, I think this is going to be a pretty strong performance here, Fletcher. Not many mistakes. 17, 27, 35, 46, 51, 57, 64, 75, 78. Which again is an absolute rock solid C. So even though you're making some mistakes, you're making nowhere near that many that you're going to come under. As I've said previously, 61 or better in these papers will guarantee you a C. So that's another really strong performance. Concentrate on that games of chance. Okay, watch how I work through that on the video solution, and then print off some more of those and practice those, and that'll be another strength then. Well done, that's really good.